We have ourselves a brew day. Yeah, baby, right on. Woo! Settling in for 6 to 8 hours, depending on how brew day goes. It's always an adventure. Brewing up the Tropical Thunder Blonde Ale, which it's supposed to be a mosaic blonde ale. So I gave out the recipe. I designed it. I did a video of me designing it. I don't know, a week or so last week. So what I do is last week I designed a video. Yeah, I designed a recipe. This week I brew it up. So if you want to brew along, you can run in and get the ingredients and all that stuff, and we can do a wonderful taste test and see how we all like it, all that good shite. Anyway, this one has changed a little bit because my local homebrew shop did not have, first of all, mosaic hops. This is supposed to be a mosaic blonde ale, which is an awesome beer, by the way. We had to move to Citra, which will also be awesome. I'm not worried about it. They're very similar in flavor, aroma, all the good stuff. So we're going with Citra instead. Also, so you're aware, I had to mix up some of my specialty grains because again, they didn't have them. So let me take a look at the recipe I gave you guys. 2-row. We got the 2-row. So we're going with 9 pounds of 2-row. We're good there, baby. Vienna malt. They did not have Vienna malt, which really sucks because I like Vienna malt, but that's okay. This is Make Beer Easy. You regroup on the fly. Okay. You just go online, do a little search, say comparative grains to Vienna malt, and it'll give you a list. And then you go through your homebrew guys and you say, all right, you son of a guns have this. So we went with instead Cara using the same amount, 0.75 of a pound. Okay. Same deal there. So that's good. What else? I think there was another one. No, they did have dextrin. Okay. So it was just the Carahel. I went through a bunch of alternatives and they didn't have any of them. So I finally decided on the Carahel is what I'm calling. I'm sure you technical guys will correct me on the correct pronunciation of that specialty grain. On top of that, we are going with 0.75 of dextrin or caraphils. That's going to give us our body, the head, the nice mouthfeel to it. 0.75. Then I decided, and I gave it as an option to you guys, I'm going to go with 0.75 of honey malt as well. So what do we have going on? You can't see it, but I've got my Brewzilla over there heating up to mash temperatures. So we want to mash in at 152 Fahrenheit for 60 minutes. So I am taking that up to 168, 170 Fahrenheit. So when I dough in, i.e. add the grains, which I'm going to walk you through and show you, by the time I add them all, stir them up, get them all doughed in nicely, we'll be down to probably 152-ish. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. So that's it, guys. We'll be right back. And this video is going to follow all the way through the whole brewing process to include cold crashing, fining, and bottling. The only thing that won't be with this video is the taste test. I like to do those separate because they're a shite ton of fun. Woo! Let's get at this. It's early in the morning and I haven't quite had a pint yet, so bear with me. Be back for the mash. All right, gang, we have hit 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, our mashing temp is 152. By the time I dough in, then we should be down around the 152. So what I'm going to do, it's very healthy to have a big bucket. You mix all your grains together and kind of mix them up. That way you're getting your base grain, the 2-row, mixed up with your specialty grain. I'm not doing that this morning. I'm going to put in the 1 bag, which is half of it. So how many pounds did I say we're doing? Because I got it in kgs. That's why I'm 9 pounds. So I'm going to put 4.5 in there. And you always, oh my fuck. So clearly we had ourselves a bit of a brain fart on Big Robb's side. Too early in the morning. My head's in a different place. I didn't put the grain basket, malt pipe, into the Brewzilla. I started doughing in without it in there. So what I've done is I've scooped out as much grains and water as I can. There's a little bit left, so that's going to suck. But anyway, a little bit left, not a lot. So I'm not too worried about it. We'll see if it messes me up later on. But what I'm going to do is get that in there where it belongs and should have been in the first place. I'm going to add, because when I scoop the grains and liquid out, make sure I'm getting this all right now. See, it's brew day, man. Things always happen. So when you put that in, you want to put this little rubber stopper onto the actual recirculating pipe, I guess we'll call it. We'll get that in there, so no grains go down in, even though I got shit tons of grains down in. So let's see if my pump ends up getting clogged. So anyway, brew day's off to a awesome start. This is wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these back in. This is the liquid with the grains. As you can see, we had some grains in there, of course. And then we're going to dough in the proper way. So I'm going to get that liquid back in there with whatever grains are in there, and I'll come back in. We'll dough back in properly. All right. So we are doughing in. And as I was saying, we are going to, it's nice to have a bucket where you can mix your base grains with your specialty grains, and then put them in, and they'll be evenly distributed. Not doing that because I don't feel like it. So I'm going to add half of the base grains, which is approximately 4.5 pounds. And you always want to be stirring it up so you don't get the dough balls in there, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll add the specialty on top, mix it up, and then I'll add the remaining base grains. This is all you do, guys. Just slowly add your grains, stir it up so you're not getting any what we call dough balls, which is basically a fancy way for saying clumped up pieces of grain. And then I've already set my temperature to go down to 152. So again, by the time we get this all doughed in, we should be set to go. And I will be back once we are going to hit the sparging stage. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, I'm way too damn tall for this type of setup. Okay, mash is done. We're now going to do a mash out. So what happens when you're mashing is the enzymes in the milled grains are converting the starches into fermentable sugars and some sugars that aren't fermentable. So majority will be fermentable. They're going to give us the alcohol and CO2. The non-fermentable will add body, mouthfeel, all that type of stuff. What a mash out does is it basically stops that process, okay? So it locks in your wort profile. So and on top of that, it also makes the wort a little thinner, so it's going to be easier to sparge, okay? It's going to help us with rinsing the sugars off the grains when we sparge. So what you do is you take this up to, I'm going to take it up 168 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, and that's it. You just continue on. I'll continue to recirculate it. It's going to be 168 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, and then we'll move immediately into the sparge. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm just going to screw around with this thing to get her going. We're going to take her up to 168 degrees Fahrenheit and let her sit for 20 minutes. We're going to do the old mash out. Yes. All right, what's the update here? Let us see. We have been doing a full mash out now for 20 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move to the sparging. What I have over here on the kettle is my sparge water, because I do what I call a rinse sparge, where you'll see it. I just dump water over top of it. We are presently at 125 degrees Fahrenheit, so we got a little ways to go to get up the sparge temp. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to shut off my pump. I'm going to shut off, actually I'm not, you can, as you're mash or as you're sparging, you can start to head up to boil temperature so you're not waiting around forever to get that. So that's what we're going to do. I go up past 212 Fahrenheit. I found if I had that 212, it just kind of hung around there. So I take it up to like 225. It doesn't get up that high. So it doesn't get up that high, but it keeps it around the boiling temperature. So now we're going to remove our recirculating arm. I've already got the pump off. Make sure I don't make a mess. I've already had one disaster this brew day with the good old doughing in. So we don't need another one. So very simple with these systems. I love them. Very simple to brew in a bag. I started all grain with brew in a bag. I love them. And that's why I went to this system, because I can do it indoors. But pretty much the same. You pull the mash pipe out, malt pipe out. I call it grain basket still, because that's what I like to frickin' call it. You guys call it whatever you want. You lock her into place. It's got little arms on the inside and little legs that sit on there. We're going to let that drain down through. And then what's going to happen is I'll come back. I'll show you the mash, or not the mash. Come on, Rob, get it together. The sparge, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. We'll get that up to our pre-boil level. I believe it's 7 gallons. I got to confirm that. And we'll be back at that point. Yeah. All right, we've reached the hot break. You can see that's where all this foam and all that gunk and shite, that's S-H-I-T with an E, pulls up. Well, it says we're at 212, so that's boil at sea level, I guess. So I don't know what the heck it is here. That's why I put it up even higher. So that should break soon. And once it does and all it kind of dissipates, that's when I add my hops. So my first hop addition, and that's when I start my timer for the boil. So I'll be back for that. You betcha. Thought I'd give you some live action. You can see it's starting to boil. You can see the bubbling taking place. This is where I wouldn't at this point, because we're not going to have a boil over, in my opinion. But this is a squirt bottle I was talking about. All you got to do is mist across the top, and this is where the firm cap would come into play. If you prefer to do it that route, you just put it in there now, and it would dissipate the foam. It'll do that on its own here in a couple minutes. So I'm going to let it do it for the most part, and then I'll be back and we'll drop the wonderful hop sitting over there ready to go. Okay, just because it's always the way it goes, I said we weren't going to have a boil over. Look what we're almost having. So some live action here. You spray that around, and that'll take the foam down. Wonderful. It's a wonderful teaching moment. I love brew days. They always just contradict everything I say is going to happen. Anyway, we should be back here in no time. It'll feel like no time to you. Should feel like no time to me to add those hops. Okay, guys, we've got ourselves a boil. I got my fan on here because it helps blow the steam out of here. I'll turn that off. We got ourselves a boil. I just dump them in. I don't use the hop sack here any longer. I used to. Doesn't matter to me. Everything. We're going to whirlpool at the end of this, so all the hop debris shall be gone. And we're going to set our timer because we're now at 1 hour. We got a nice boil going, and we will be back in 50 minutes for our second hop edition, which is starting the Citra at the 10-minute mark. All right. We are at the 10-minute mark of the boil. So that means a few things. Typically you put your whirl flock in, and I do whirl flock this, and I will also cold crash it and fine it, because I like this beer to be clear. This is not a hazy, juicy deal. So typically you do it at 15 minutes. We're doing it at the 10-minute mark. You just drop that in there. It's like Irish moss, and it helps to get all the junk to clump up and drop to the bottom, help clear out your beer. Number 2 is we've got our second hop addition, which is Citra, 0.5 ounces of Citra going in. What we also got at this point is we're getting close to, we're going to whirlpool, but it's going to be a little interesting because I've got to sanitize my wort chiller. Immersion chiller. And the way you do that is you drop it in here for the last part of your boil, and it's sanitized. So how we're gonna, it's gonna be hard to whirlpool. We'll do it when I come back, but how we're gonna do it is with the good old arm, recirculating arm, which I'm also gonna get in and start sanitizing that. And that's how we're gonna whirlpool. So when I come back, we're gonna be whirlpooling. And we're going to be, I think it's 2 ounces of Citra or Mosaic, depending on what you picked up, is going in at that time. So 10 minutes to go in the boil. We shall return. Yeah. Okay, guys. What has transpired here? Starter sand into the fermenter. Everything needs to be, I'm going to say fermented. Everything needs to be sanitized. I got my little bowl of sanitizer. I got my scissors in there. Anything that's going to touch the beer at this point must go into the sanitizer and be sanitized. We've got the immersion chiller in, cooling her down to 170 where I'm going to whirlpool. We had a little hiccup in that my recirculating pump has clogged. I've unclogged it a couple times by running water through it while it's still boiling, but it keeps reclogging. So we're not going to be able to recirculate while we are whirlpooling. And we've also got the immersion chiller in there. So that's a pain in the arse because it's kind of in the way to manually whirlpool. Thinking of that, you also want to sanitize your spoon that you're going to do that with. So I've got to do that. That's what we're going to do though. So we're really just steeping the grain or the hops in the hot wort at 170 degrees. And this allows more flavor and aroma to come out of the hops without causing the bitterness. So we're going to do that for about 20 minutes. So we're doing the whole process here in this brew day from the standpoint of mash out as well as whirlpooling. So I'll be back when we add the 2 ounces of Citra and start the whirlpool. Yes, sir. All right, gang, whirlpooling time. We're down to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. The Brewzilla, I've got one element on the 1000 watt to keep it at 168. Simple as adding the hops and then just trying to create a whirlpooling action, which would have worked really well if I had my recirculating arm working. Instead, like most people, this is what you have to do. Just kind of try to get the whirlpooling going. And basically all we're doing is we're soaking these for 20 minutes in this 170 degree water. And that is going to, like I said, provide aroma and flavor without bittering. So we're doing this for 20 minutes. I can create a little whirlpool, I'm finding out, by stirring inside of the actual immersion chiller itself. So that's kind of getting a whirlpool going. But I'll just keep playing around with it. Main thing is I want those hops to soak in there for 20 minutes. We'll be back we're going to continue on with the chilling after that. And then we're going to get her into the old fermenter pitch the wheat yeast, put her away for a couple weeks, and do some dry hopping while it's away. Be right back. All right, guys, we are transferred. We're ready to go. Yeast is in there. Airlock with bung, sanitizer in the airlock, good to go. Did the hydrometer, we nailed it, 1.050. So the efficiency was good. Recipe called for 1.048 as the original gravity. So I'm happy with that. I like the color. It's a nice color. She's going to make a nice beer. Not much hop aroma yet, but that doesn't surprise me. You can still smell all the grains and good stuff. So that's it. She's going away I'll figure it out, but I'll ferment for 2 weeks. So my hop edition, one of them will be day 11. I might do one like day 9 as well. Cheers. See you guys soon. All right, guys. It is now approximately 3 weeks since brew day. So good time to dry hop this bad boy. Now, I think I talked about it, but again, I'm now putting the process of brewing all in one video, where I used to do separate videos. So now I've forgotten what I told you, but I'm pretty sure I would have reminded you or advised you, that's a better word, Mr. Advisor here, that I couldn't get mosaic hops. So we're going to use Citra. Since I recorded the first part of this video, I've since added to my website as well. You can check that out. Free homebrewing tools on the blog, makebeereasy.com. You'll see it right on the heading. Now on there, I have substitution charts for grains, hops, and yeast. So you can go in and say, oh, I couldn't get mosaic. Let me look at mosaic. Oh, look at that. Citra, Simcoe, Galaxy, all adequate replacements for mosaic. I think Citra is the closest to it. Galaxy be right there too, and Simcoe will be a good option also. This is now the Citra. It's got Citra Blonde Ale. So we've got 1.5 ounces left. I do recall saying that I might potentially dry hop twice. Not going to do that. I went away on a motorcycle trip, came back exhausted, got a cold, got sick for a week. So I'm just recovering here. So we are going to just do the one hop edition. Try to get it into the, I'll go down through there, no problem. Usually I take the bung right out, but I don't feel like it today. Sometimes some people, and I used to use a hop sack, just basically exactly like it sounds. It's just a little bag, a muslin bag, I guess, that you can put the hops in. Now I'm getting more in the frickin' airlock than I am into the actual beer. And that's not going down in. Look at that, you son of a gun. So once you get the system down, don't F it up. Look at me effing it all up. So I gotta take those in and dump them in. So I'm gonna have to take the bung out. So I'm gonna do that. Should have done that from the get-go. And next steps, probably Monday or Tuesday, I am going to cold crash this because I like a nice clear blonde ale. So I will cold crash it and we'll fine it. So I'm gonna fine it with gelatin. And so I'll cold crash it first for a day. Then I'm gonna fine it with the gelatin. And then After that, we package it. So next part of this video that you're going to be watching immediately is going to be me cold crashing this bad boy. Hang tight. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are at the cold crashing stage. So what's going to happen is I'm going to drop this in the kegerator for 24 hours. And then I'll be back as I add the gelatin fining agent to it. So before you add the gelatin, you want to have the beer at fridge temperatures. So what I do, you want to take the airlock out always, or it'll suck all the star sand in. You want to reduce the oxygen as much as possible. So quickly remove, bam, put a little, I put a, whatever I've got on hand at the moment. It's a garbage, not a garbage bag, but a sandwich bag. Get myself elastic. You can use saran wrap, cling wrap, what have you. Just put something on it's going to protect the protect from oxygen getting in. And then you just simply drop her into your whatever you're using the cold crash. I love this Danby setup. It's got the Inkbird up there. Drops the chest freezer down to fridge temperatures. Put her in there. Let her sit for 24 hours. We'll be back to add the gelatin. All right, gang, welcome back. Today we are at the gelatin fining stage of the clarification process for the good old Tropical Thunder Mosaic / Citra Blonde Ale. This bad boy's been sitting in the fridge probably about 3 or 4 days since I dropped it in there. So let's go ahead and get at it. Okay, guys, very simple. Works incredibly well. If you like clear beer, absolutely go with the gelatin fining. It's just fining. It's just your Knox gelatin that your mom, your grandma would have used to bake whatever the hell they would have baked with it. So you pick up a pack of that. You're going to use, because we're doing a 5-gallon batch, we're going to use 1 full teaspoon of the gelatin. Okay, very simple. So you get yourself the gelatin. You're going to need a way to measure your temperature because we're going to heat up the mixture. You want yourself a sanitized teaspoon, and you want half a cup of water. So to start out, all we're going to do is we're going to take that 1 teaspoon of the mixture, and we're going to put it in the cold water. Some people will heat it up first. I don't do that. I do the more traditional baking way. Not that I'm a baker by any dang means, but this is the way I do it. You put it in here, you let it bloom, they call it. Don't know what that means, don't ask, look it up yourself. We get her in the cold water, we let her sit for about 10 minutes. Then I'm going to slowly heat it up in my microwave up to 150 to 155 degrees Fahrenheit. You want this mixture to get to, and then we're going to pour it in. Okay, so that's where your good old digital thermometer is going to come into play. Last time I did it for a 1-gallon batch, and it got up to temperature within about 30 seconds in the microwave. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we will come back for the next step, which is very simple. We're going to dump the mixture into the old fermenter, cover it back up with our this is just a sandwich bag, saran wrap, cling wrap, whatever you have. It's got an elastic on it, keeps the air, keeps the dirt out of it. We're going to get it back in the fermenter for this will go back until I'm ready to bottle it, but I would leave it in there minimum of 48 hours, if not 72. So we shall be right back. Okay, so we're back. We've got the gelatin heated up. Took about, I used a little more water, obviously, than I did with the 1 gallon. I can't remember how much that was, but this took about 40 seconds instead of 30 seconds. So it's all heated up, ready to go. The bloom happened, whatever the hell that is. And next step, guys, very simple. You just get it in here. You don't have to stir it. You don't have to do anything. Just pour it into your mixture, your wort. And again, keeping in mind that, and put your cover back on, and again, hold it down. Keep in mind that you want to, before you add the gelatin, you need to have cold crashed your beer for at least 24 hours because you want to have it at fridge temperatures before you add the gelatin. All right, guys, we're at the big bag kegging stage. Come on, Tropical Thunder Blonde Ale. This bad boy will go on the gas for 24 hours, 35 PSI. That's the way I do it. She'll be off the gas for 24 hours. So Thursday, come Friday, I'll be taste testing this bad boy. So it's been cold crashing, I don't know, for a while. I've just been taking my time with this. I'm just going to take a little sample so I can take a hydrometer reading. I'm not going to calculate the ABV right now because I can't remember what the OG was. But come taste test time, hopefully I'll remember to do that for you guys. And let's go ahead and get me a little sample. First little bit looked a little gunky, of course, because the trub at the bottom. But now it's running very clear. And I expect this beer to be very clear due to gelatin and cold crashing. I'm down here filling up my cylinder for the test tube for the oh, there we go, that's good. So it's clearer than that because that had some gunk in there. I should have run some off. I didn't, but oh well. Not concerned about it. When you're kegging, you want to make sure you put a hose on. You want to sanitize the shite out of the hose, and then you want to make sure it's all the way at the bottom so that we don't oxidize it. You want to keep the oxygen out. Okay, let's go ahead with that. And let her rip. So next steps I'll come back for it. I won't let you sit. I won't make you sit here and watch the fermenter draining into the keg. I'll be back to when I add the gas to it, and we will go from there. All right, guys. We've got an FG of 1.010. I believe the OG was about 1.047. So we were targeting 1.009 or 1.010 around there. So we nailed it. So that should give us a ABV of about 4.8 to 5%. So we're right where we wanted to be. Here's what she looks like. Nice and clear. Smells delish. For uncarbonated, very nice. Smells really nice. So what we've done, here's how I do this. These are the pin lock kegs. So when I first connect it to the gas, I disconnect. This is a new regulator for me. I fill it full of some gas. I disconnect it and I want to purge it. So if you had the ball lock, the old Coke kegs, you would have a pressure release valve you could hit. Instead, with these Pepsi kegs, or I might have it backwards. Anyways, the pin locks, you've got to rig up something like this contraption that you can drop this on the gas. And what this is doing is this is purging the oxygen out, just like that. And I'll do that a couple times. Some people do it in the same amount of time. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do. Put the gas back on. You also want to be looking for leaks around your seals. So what I do is I'll take some Star Sand. I'll spray it around all the seals on here and see if I can see any bubbling coming on, which would mean we have a leak. I'm not seeing any, so that's good news. So again, we will turn it off the gas, take it off, bam, go ahead and blast it some more. That's just Star Sand coming out of this little bowl I have here. And then we'll put that back. Oh, we might have a leak actually. Yeah, we do have a leak. So we have a leak. I just put that back on and a bunch of gas or whatever came out through the cover, and I can see it bubbling away there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put some, I don't have keg lube. I'm just going to use some Vaseline around the O-ring itself, the seal. I'll put it back on, do the exact same thing I just did. And then we're going to 35 PSI on here for 24 hours, like I said, and then take it off the gas, leave it for 24 hours, and she's good to go. And we'll be back for the old taste test. So we'll drop both the keg and the CO2 tank into my kegerator, and we'll leave them in there. That's what we got, guys. So next time we'll be back. Will be a taste test, be a different video. Any questions, reach out. If you're new to brewing, be sure to check out my Beginner Brewers Bootcamp. Links in the description. It's free. I also give away my top 5 best-selling recipes from my brew pub, my own personal recipes. Links in the description also. Check them out. Big Rob, well, he gone. He's back for the taste test real soon. Yeah.